How's it going, YouTube? Coming to today with another video. And today, guys, I went second place at the Indianapolis Regional. It was a lot of fun. I was playing Horus Tier. Shout out to Austin for telling me to play these cards. I told everyone that this was one of the things that I really didn't want to play. I thought the Horus cards were pretty bad. We'll talk about why they were really good, why they were really bad today, and why I feel like I'll still probably play them in the future, because at the same time, as much as they can be awkward, they come up in a lot of very interesting scenarios. Shout out to Steven as well for giving me the Horus cards to use today. Definitely a huge help. Very cool build. My very first hand of the day was Imseti, Happy Talent. Talent drew me into Mali Talent after my Imseti got Ash, but we only lost in round 8, game 3 to Shifter. Everything else was pretty solid for the day. Hopping right into the deck profile, we have 3 Imseti, 1 Happy, and 2 Sark. This is very similar, I believe, to Justin Sing's ratio as well from the last event. Just makes a lot of sense. You want to keep it as simple as possible. I was only on 1 Sark. I got convinced to play 2. You just want to see this card. Even if you start milling like crazy and you just have this is such power because you just have another way to get back into games. It's really funny. This has a weird interaction with Angelic Ring, because if you activate this card, it's like if you use Regulus on like a Mystic Mine, right? Like you can do it, but nothing really happens. And I played against 2 Infernoble today, and that interaction came up a lot where I just like activated the Sark and it just ate the Angelic Ring, which was hilarious. But overall, this is a really solid package, and I would run it moving forward. I thought it was very good for the day. I was genuinely surprised about that because I did not like it. Shout out to Cards and Coffee as well for really trying to sell me on playing those cards. They were pretty solid. Standard, 2 Rhino. I'm still on 2 Rhino because I still play the 1 Serpent. Nothing ever changes here. This is not getting cut from my deck. It's still just too good. You make Bahamut very easily. But the tier engine doesn't really change a whole lot. Beside that though, I don't play Diviner. I decided I didn't really want it because there's multiple times that, even the last place that I was at for an event, I didn't really summon Diviner that much, and I also cut Cross Sheet from the extra deck, so I just really didn't see the value in it. You could summon it off of like the Zombie Vampire, but I never really felt like I was in a point where like I didn't have enough mills, so I don't really think that you even need it if you're playing the Horus cards. This was perfectly fine. I cut out a lot of bricks from my deck because I realized that a lot of my hands were just awful moving forward. I cut like Shayama. You already know I don't play the Helsh at all. There's just so many cards that just got removed. So realistically, besides the Serpent, these are the only bricks that I play. And I also cut my Dangers down to the new standard count, which is 1 and 1, which is fine. I thought this was perfect. My hands were just beautiful all day. I didn't have like any issues with consistency. So I thought that was really cool. You don't need the Shayama, you don't need the Diviner, you don't need anything that's like really clunky. You just need your hands to be as fishbowl-y as possible, and this really did help. This got sided out a ton. I might actually just like move forward with just this. I know this is a little weird. Even play like 2 of this, because seeing the Nessie was way more valuable than this, but this is also kind of nice because it helps you make the Mudragon. But now you have Imseti, so like Imseti just goes back all the time for the Mudragon anyway, so it never really mattered. Then we have the 3 Planet, the 3 Super Poly, and 3 Talent. So 3 Planet obviously is standard, but this was just a godsend. There's never a time when I'm ever going to be playing the Horus cards without some kind of engine or some kind of card that's going to mitigate a problematic situation like an Ash on this. So looking at the Horus cards, I told myself there's no way I was ever going to play these without playing 3 Talent, and let me tell you, these 2 together is the dumbest thing you'll ever see. It's very, very good, especially when you draw Sark off of that. It's really crazy. But I didn't really have a problem with playing 3 of this in my deck. I didn't ever miss a scenario where it was like a bad mill or anything, because I don't play Droll anymore. My main deck is on my side. We'll talk more about that. But this card was an MVP. Playing the Guilty Gear Freed, shout out to Panda giving me one before the event started. Really crazy. It came up a lot today. I summoned Guilty Gear Freed too many times, but the card was really good. Normal Summon Rhino Heart effect, and then your opponent chains something and you chain your Super Poly to go ahead and summon the Guilty Gear Freed with their SP and your Rhino Heart is kind of insane. 2 Scream standard. I don't play more than this. It turned into a bad mill after that. 1 Call by the Grave. I did hit a Shifter with this today. Felt very good. Again, it's just one of those things with the Imseti engine. I just want to make sure it goes through, so I think it's really important to play. This is 41 cards. Double Foolish, and then we have the Trap lineup, which again doesn't really change a whole lot for me. I don't play Meta Noise, and I don't main deck Crime. I also cut Heartbeat. I don't really think that you need it anymore. I don't think it's like that crazy. I don't even side it. It honestly never came up a single time for me today to even have it. So again, just trying to remove as much clutter as possible and just make sure that the deck is as consistent as possible. So the next thing here is going to be the extra deck. You have your generic targets for Super Poly and your plays. So this is insanely good. I'm never not playing that. I played against 2 Rescue today, and that card came in so clutch. Mud Dragon, I summoned this a lot. My opponent was playing Vanadium, and they had 2 card slips in hand. I had an off fusion because they lightning stormed my board and popped my Chiron. I just summoned Mud, and they normally Meek and tried to like ream the Meek, and I was like, you can't do that. So this was a really good call. That's one thing where you kind of have to have a lot of like heads up knowledge into your matchups to know that the normal summon of the Meek there when they're on less cards is going to be more optimal for them. So if you're able to put up something like a Mud Dragon, you really are able to plus a lot because your opponent cannot play the game after that. 2 Kaleido, never changing that. I will argue until the day I die that card should be at 2. 1 Baron, 1 Chode, 1 Bahamut, 1 Dweller. Some people try to put this in their side deck. I think it's important in the main deck because there's a lot of situations where you just want this. It came up a lot today. You could summon this against Branded, especially. I did play against that deck. There's a lot of things that go off in the graveyard that you need to be able to shut down. I also summoned this against Infernoble, which I'm pretty sure was another reason why I did very well in that matchup because there's so many things they couldn't do. So very, very cool. It turned off the Phoenix Blade and whatnot, so I don't have to worry about any kind of like looping. It really would have mattered if they were able to get to the Phoenix Blade. 1 Beatrice, 1 Zombie Vampire. This caught an Imp from 3 times today. It felt awful, but it was fine. It's really cool. This I believe can be targeted with monsters, except the ones that were special summoned from the graveyard randomly comes up. It's pretty good. 1 Sprint, 1 SP, and 1 Dark. I cut Cross Sheep. I don't think it's necessary. It didn't come up a single time today. There's so many times that I just didn't summon it in the last event, so I was just like, I'm just not going to play this card. It never came up. Same with Redoer. I still think that card is just awful. For the sideboard, 3 Droll. This card came in quite often. Felt bad not main decking this card, but at the same time, like this card is so strong, and my main deck is so strong to be able to just grind through boards. So I really wasn't worried. Into the post siding though, this card was insane. 2 Druids just in case I play against Unchained or like the mirror match. It was just the last 2 slots of my side deck. I couldn't really decide on. This was just the smartest pick for me. 3 Droplet, just the best one into Dweller scenarios, just generic board break, very solid. I also was really worried about the Sanctifier earlier, so I put these in as well, just to make sure that it didn't get puppeted again. The blowouts, I was going to play Cosmic Cyclone, just in case you start running into things like Centurion, but that was just Copium. Playing this is just better. Also against Rescue Ace, being able to hard open this, or against the Infernal deck, being able to hard open this and force the negate out is really good. Card I didn't see at all today. Still would probably play it. Still a broken card. Thankfully Dodge flew all day, but I did run into Kashtira, which was my only loss. And then 1 Crime. Overall, deck went insane today. The mills were insane today. The consistency was insane today. Very happy with how the deck performed. The horse cards, I will bite my tongue on this because I talked a lot of smack on them for a long time, but they are pretty solid, okay? They are pretty good. There had to have been something with them because I did get 2nd place today. They were really good even in scenarios that like you just needed to grind back or put up lethal because you just summoned them back from the graveyard and it's like, back again, you know, it's really cool every single time. And then earlier it was so crazy. I used Happy and I added back Foolish Burial and Pearl Rhino for my follow-up and I was just like, that's insane. Like, it was game from there. It was so good because my opponent didn't really have much after that. But I hope that everyone enjoyed the deck profile. It was such a fun event. Getting 2nd place in my first top 4, so very, very cool. I'm going to run back at Columbus in 2 weeks and we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much.